Chaitanya Nanda Shri Advaita Gadada Shiva Sade Gaur Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Sorry for the delayed class. There was some miscommunication. We are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 15, texts 11 through 16. Tasya Abhisheka Arabdo Brahmanair Brahmavadipi Abhisekani Kanyasmi Ajaru Sarvatojana. The learned Brahmanas, who were very attached to the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies, then arranged for the king's coronation. People from all directions collected all the different paraphernalia for the ceremony, and thus everything was complete. Sarit Samudra Girayo Nagakava Khagamrga Dayurshiti Sarbhutani Samajarur Upayanam. All the rivers, seas, hills, mountains, serpents, cows, birds, animals, heavenly planets, the earthly planet, and all other living entities collected various presentations according to their ability to offer to the king. Subhishikto Maharaja Suvasaha Sadavalankrita Pratnya Chishrala Kritaya Vireje Nirivaparaha. Thus the great King Prithu, exquisitely dressed with garments and ornaments, was coronated and placed on the throne. The king and his wife Archi, who was also exquisitely ornamented, appeared exactly like fire. Tasmai jara danado haimam vira virasanam varuna salila sarvam atapratram shashi prabham. The great sage continued, "My dear Vidura, Kuvera presented the great King Prithu Maharaj with a golden throne. The demigod Varuna presented him with an umbrella that constantly sprayed fine particles of water and was as brilliant as the moon. Vayuschava lavya chane dharma kirti mayim srijam indra kiritam ukshritam dandam samyamanam yama. The demigod of the air, Vayu, presented King Prithu with 2 whisks, chamaras, of hair. The king of religion, Dharma, presented him with a flower garland which would expand his fame. The king of heaven, Indra, presented him with a valuable helmet. And the superintendent of death, Yamaraj, presented him with a scepter with which to rule the world. 16. Brahma Brahmanyam Brahma Brahmamayam Varma. If you have the text with you, you can repeat. Brahma Brahmamayam Varma. Bharati Haranam Uttamam. Hari Sudarshanam Chakram. Tat Patni Avyahatam Shriyam. Shriyam. Brahma Brahmayanam Vamya. Brahma Brahmamayam Vama. Bharati Haram Uttamam. Hari Sudarshanam Chakram. Tat Patnya Vyahatam Sriyam. Sorry, I'm murdering the Sanskrit a bit today. I'm not going to go through the call and response because we don't have much time, so I'm just going to read through the translation. Lord Brahma presented King Prithu with a protective garment made of spiritual knowledge. Bharati, Saraswati, the wife of Brahma, gave him a transcendental necklace. Lord Vishnu presented him with a Sudarshan disc, and Lord Vishnu's wife, the goddess of fortune, gave him imperishable opulences. We'll read Srila Prabhupada's purport. All the demigods presented various gifts to King Prithu. Hari, as an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Upendra in the heavenly planet, presented the king with a Sudarshan disc. It should be understood that this Sudarshan disc is not exactly the same type of Sudarshan disc used by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna or Vishnu. Since Prithu Maharaj was a partial representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's power, the Sudarshan disc given to him represented the partial power of the original Sudarshan disc. Om Gyanatimmirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we're in this fourth canto at King Prithu Maharaj's appearance and coronation. And just like a 30-second recap, what's been happening is that the world at some point was ruled by King Vena, who was vicious, cruel, tyrantish type of leader. And then the Brahmanical community had arranged for a coup. And basically, he was killed, and from his body, the negative influences was churned out, and what was left from the body, because he was also the son of a king, there was obviously some part of him that was extremely pious, and from what was left of his body, the sages had performed sacrifice in order for King Prithu to appear. So King Prithu is now, I know that alone is quite a story to wrap your head around, but for today we won't go fully into it. But King Prithu, he represents a quality of leader that just blows your mind away, because and as you can see, not just, firstly, he comes forward by the will of the sages. And because he is now there executing their will to rule in a way that a king should rule, because he is aligning with Krishna's will, he's getting all these benedictions from all these sages, all these gifts that are coming his way. And these gifts are not just like, it's the birthday party and here's your gift table and your gift registry and this is what I would like to have. These are powerful gifts because they're coming from powerful personalities. And they're not just physical things like we've read here. Some of the gifts that King Prithu got was Kuvera gave him a golden throne. Kuvera is the treasurer of the demigods. And then Varuna presented him with an umbrella that constantly sprayed fine particles of water and was as brilliant as the moon. In the current summer, I wouldn't mind an umbrella like that, that gently sprayed you with drips of water. So these physical things are coming his way, like, okay, here's the golden throne and here's the umbrella as brilliant as the moon. But it's not just these things. Every time that King Prithu is sitting on that golden throne, he has the blessings of Kuvera. Every time he's using that umbrella, he has the blessings of Varuna. And so all these things that come forward, the disc, etc., they are coming forward with the blessings of superior personalities. And that is why King Prithu, already being a representative of Krishna, a partial representative of Krishna, he's still getting all these blessings. And that's what makes him a phenomenal leader. If you do a comparative analysis of King Prithu against King Vena, he instead disregarded the sages and just thought like, what do you mean you don't understand that I'm God? Like, what's wrong with you? That was King Vena's mood. But King Prithu has the opposite mood, and therefore he is evoking from people the opposite reaction. And so therefore our spiritual life, and from King Prithu and this example, we can learn that our spiritual life is a path that is paved with blessings. And sometimes it doesn't matter how qualified or unqualified we are. It matters that we are able to collect those blessings. We sit on the Vyasasan because of blessings from Sri Vyasadeva. And Sri Vyasadeva is a representative of the parampara, of all the teachers that come from Sri Vyasadeva. So we sit on the Vyasasan only by the blessings of the spiritual master. And only by those blessings are we allowed to speak. So every point of our spiritual life, every practice that we do, even lifting our beads and chanting Hare Krishna, imbued with blessings. Imbued with blessings. They're gifts that we have received that is imbued with blessings. Our beads are the gift of the spiritual master. It's a gift from Tulasi. The holy name is a gift from the parampara coming through Krishna. The Bhagavatam is a gift from Vyasadeva. It's a gift from Srila Prabhupada. All our lives are touched with gifts. And these gifts are paving our path with blessings. And we need those blessings. We need those blessings because with them and with the mood that Prithu Maharaj had of aligning himself to what a leader really should be, together with those two things when they combine, you have a very powerful influence on this earth. Because as we'll read this fourth canto, we'll see that Prithu Maharaj ruled like a king with a heart. And we're so used to the modern version of politics, where it's like yesterday I was on campus, or day before, Tuesday, I was on campus, and we saw students registering. But together with students registering were other students who were helping them register. So nice, from the kindness of their heart, right? No, they obviously aligned to some political group and wore certain t-shirts so that they would get them to register. So what is the underlying thing? Hey, you're new here, you don't know what's cutting on campus. Don't worry, because us who've been there forever still don't know what's cutting on campus right now. But I'm here, I'll take you through the process, and then what? Then you owe me. Why? Because it's voting time, So the selfishness that comes behind the political scenarios that we see right now, and this is not to put a blanket cover, it's just putting a commentary on what I've seen myself, has underlined so much of governmental structures. But when you see King Prithu, you see what it means to be a leader from the heart with actually wishing good on your subjects. Now, this is a very easy conversation if you're the subject. Yes, this is how the leader should be. This is what our president should be like, But don't get yourself into that sort of victim mentality, because the truth is that you're also a leader. You're a leader of your family. You're a leader of your community. You're a leader within the structure. If you go out and you're practicing Hare Krishna, you're a representative of Krishna, Everyone is a leader in their own right. And so therefore, King Prithu is holding up a mirror against us and saying, what type of leader are you? What type of leader are you? Or are we just waiting around so that other leaders will be better leaders to us? Because when there isn't one, when the leader doesn't seem to fit when there's no King Prithu hovering over the universe to make everything so nice and pretty, it's up to us to become the example. We have to become the example. And that means we look at King Prithu, who was able to genuinely wish good for all of his subjects. But really what happens with our life is that we try to just, hey, I need to make the bills meet, make sure my living from day to day is done. I've ticked the boxes of the things that I need to do. And becoming a genuine well-wisher of others is at the end of the day, I don't really have any energy for that. And then can we blame? Can we look outside and say, hey, our leaders are like this, when we refuse to stand up and take that same position and rise to the occasion? Because it's really easy to accuse a leader. It's really easy to say all the things in the job that you have not done well. And if you're a leader, you'll also know that everybody will also not see everything that you try to do right. It's just natural that you put yourself in a position where you will not be thanked. Now, when you look at a spiritual movement, it is even more enhanced, because on a material level, even if a leader doesn't produce, at least he's getting his paycheck and he's okay. But in a spiritual movement, there is no paycheck. And so when people may not see what you are doing or how you are trying from your core intention, and they only see what is not achieved, they're so oh well, at least I have my paycheck at the end of the day. There's not that. All you have to rely on then is that, okay, Krishna, you're seeing, and I hope it's good enough that you accept it. So King Prithu sort of puts us in this position where we can see ourselves as followers and see ourselves as leaders. Because only when you place yourself in a position of a leader do you see how difficult that task is. How really difficult. And how easy it is to sit on the other side and say what's wrong. But only when you put yourself in a position of a follower can you see what it takes, to just completely align yourself to somebody else's will all the time. That's also not easy. So therefore, we have to become genuine followers to become genuine leaders. And it's not a cliched thing. And so these chapters of the Bhagavatam are there for that mirror, to ask us, what sort of leader are you? What sort of leader are you when the doors are closed? And what sort of follower are we? So you'll see in the last verse that we read, we hear of how Prithu Maharaj received the Sudarshan disc, which was not exactly Krishna's Sudarshan disc, but a partial representation of the power of Krishna's Sudarshan disc. And this brings us to the point of what it means to be invested with power, with Krishna's Shakti. There's the term Shakti Avesh Avatar. We know that our Srila Prabhupada is a Shakti Avesh Avatar, a Jiva who's especially empowered by Krishna in order to execute a mission on this earth. We know that Lord Jesus Christ or the Prophet Muhammad are all jivas, but they're given this special shakti so that they can attract people to the Supreme Lord in some way. But we also are jivas, and we also have the ability to be empowered. And Krishna can and will empower us. Just like how Prithu's receiving this partial representation of Krishna's chakra, he's able to with that partially he's able to with that chakra harness energy that belongs to Krishna. And similarly, us on the path of devotional service, someone told me the other day that when you step into the unknown, they were quoting Keshav Maharaj, and they not the cricketer. When you step into the unknown, in terms of devotional service, it is through going through it and on the other side that you meet Krishna. And so sometimes you may be given a service that feels so over you. But when we step into the unknown, willingly, with the hope that Krishna will be on the other side and that he will empower us because he has the ability to empower people. Because at nature we are Satchidananda. We are all blissful, we have all knowledge, and we are eternal. So therefore that power is within us. But it's not like some new agey look within you because the power is within. It's more that you can tap into that power when you tap into Krishna. And unless we try to become a conduit to Krishna's will, we allow Krishna's energy to flow through us. And that requires humility, because the stoppages in that pipe of Krishna's energy is our ego. And when we're chanting every day, it's kind of doing a lot of pipe work, trying to get all these blockages out so that we can become the transparent via medium. That word has been used a lot, especially to describe the spiritual master. You kind of learn it in SSR class. What is the spiritual master? The transparent via medium of Krishna. Well, here's news for you. He's not the only transparent via medium, and neither is he or she only the one supposed to be the transparent via medium. We're also meant to be transparent via mediums. And what does that mean, to be a transparent via medium? It means being transparent to the will of Krishna. When someone sees me, all my own personal issues and my own hang-ups and my own ego-driven thoughts can be removed out of the way so that if they see through me, not in a Mayavadi way, so they can see through me and see that behind every devotee is the hands of Krishna. So today, in reading this verse of the Bhagavatam, we can remember King Prithu. We can remember the example of what leadership must be. That they have the genuine, well-intentioned benefit for the followers. We can remember that we should be good leaders and we should be good followers. And we should try not to see a leader or a follower and what it takes to be in their position. We can be grateful for all the gifts we've received from the demigods in our lives. And we can look to Krishna for empowerment so that we can meet him on the other side. I'm going to stop here. We're 5 minutes over. Is there any thoughts, questions, or comments? Thank you very much. Grancharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Shri Prabhupada ki.